It's funny how the world keeps turning. Stars like ladders in the sky keep burning, burning. It's crazy how the storms keep raging.
Good evening, United Rogue Overwatch connoisseurs. A happy December to you all. We are live here with a Week 6 special for you. Houston versus Detroit. I am joined today in the booth with your friend, our famous caster, Zach. Zach, what are your thoughts? What do we got?
Yeah, it's looking like an interesting match coming up on both sides. Houston currently 5-0 on their regular season record going into this week. Detroit 0-4, missing their match last week, needing to make it up this week. Seeing if Detroit can take a win against this Houston team that has not dropped a series. They've gone close before, but they have not dropped one yet. As we are going into these starting lineups, we have an interesting one tonight. We have Biscuit on Houston starting out at DPS, and it looks like he's going to be playing DPS for the entirety of the series. Biscuit, known as a support player. It'll be interesting to see how that transition kind of comes over. Looking like as the map bans are coming through, Houston have banned out Ilios and Detroit have banned out Busan, so our opening map is going to Antarctic Peninsula.
It's finally happening. Oh. I think we might be getting a little buyer's remorse in the chat. No, they're okay for it. We have not one but two very, very special things happening for you here tonight in this match. Not only are we getting ourselves an Antarctic Peninsula, it's finally happening. I don't know how many games I've played in. Nobody likes this map. Nobody wants to play this map. It's Ilios, it's Busan, it is never Antarctic Peninsula. I swear, most of you would rather go, I don't even know, go play classic Overwatch rather than do this. So very, very rare map pick here for you all, very spicy. The other thing, which we were talking about right before this match, right before we started up the stream is, and I know all of you UR members got pinged about it, we have a very special character introduction tonight.
Yeah, with the new Season 14 patch, we have officially enabled Hazard to be played, and because he's dropped into Ranked, all UR members are able to pick up Hazard. Speaking of which, on the side of Houston, it's looking like Beatdowns is starting out with that Hazard pick. Interesting to see what they are able to get done with our newest tank on the roster.
I love it. I love it. Right out of the gate. No waiting for it, no nothing. We get an immediate Hazard pick out of Beatdowns. Dave, though, sticking with a tried and true Orisa. How do you think this matchup is gonna go?
Yeah, well, we've seen this Houston team bend but don't break, and we've seen this Detroit team kind of looking like they're trying to find anything to get a win or look competitive on the board. It'll be interesting to see if this lineup tonight is able to get that done. As both teams walk out, DPS immediately using the Storm Arrows to take down Marked Up's turret. No more Torp turret on the board as the point unlocked. That's Detroit opting to shift down and rotate through, moving past the Hazard wall. While Houston are taking the high ground, Detroit almost full cap the point right before the Hazard drops down. As I say that though, Marked Up immediately takes down Zoop. Goodbye support. Beatdowns answers back for Yeet, and that'll be it. Sure, Detroit did get the first cap on the point, but it'll only be a mere 9% before Houston flip it into their favor as Biscuit cleans up for 2 in the very end. And late stagger on the Orisa. You hate to see it if you're Detroit. But
You really do. I mean,
yeah.
as we were watching there, it looked like Detroit was attempting to rotate around there, but unfortunately got caught out. Mark ran up into the back line and split them right down the middle.
Yeah. I mean, interesting plays coming out from the side of Detroit. We're seeing the plan come through, and Houston say, okay, let's play Ring Around the Rosie, but we're holding on to the high ground. And anywhere you want to rotate, we will just drop down immediately off the road. DPS taking out Marked Up's turret, but Marked Up answers back for the Junkrat himself. DPS falls. It is now a 4v5 in favor of Houston. Both teams are coming out.
Oh no, and a massive second pick onto their other DPS.
Yeah.
Detroit sitting here with no DPS for this push, busily getting ulted on. I mean, I don't necessarily know whether Houston burning 2 ults there for the cleanup was worth it. I mean, they were 5v3, you know,
You maybe want either the Kitsune Rush or the Molten Core back. 1 is fine, 2 definitely a little bit of an overkill, especially given the fact that Detroit were down going into that fight. Light off of the soldier, back over to the Tracer. Dave spinning through, getting rid of Marked Up's turret, but that seems to be the only thing they're able to find. Dave ripping the Terror Surge, manages to pull people in. He ends Zoo up, turning around, answering back for Piper and Marked Up. Houston starting to fall towards the wayside a little bit. What can they get done? It's just the hazard on point. Falls to the hands of Zoo Up, and it'll be Detroit flipping this point. 94% in favor of Houston. 1 fight territory. What can this Detroit team do?
yeah, you really don't like to see that. If you're a Detroit fan, that is 1 team fight away from disaster here. Granted, we are first map, but you still don't want to be on this back leg here.
Yeah, maybe if you're Houston, you're kicking yourself a little bit for burning both the Molten Core and the Kitsune Rush in there. As I say that, though, Beatdown's coming out with the hazard roll, manages to trap Yeet in it, and Marked Up answers back for the Moira. DPS does turn around, manages to pick off Biscuit, so that Overclock is off the board. Orbital Ray coming down from the side of Houston. Big Green answering back, but DPS ripping the death boss. What he gets done? Not much, but Marked Up manages to get the hammer kill onto Dave, taking down the Orisa. DPS does answer back for Big Green, but as the fight is breaking down at this point, it is looking like it's going in favor of Houston, but Detroit holding firm. Biscuit comes back, ripping the overclock. What can he get done? They just pick off Zoo Up, and Marked Up put the hammer away! Stop it! They're already dead!
You know, I'd say you love to see it, but you love to see it the first time, not a second time, not a third time. Dave going down a second time on Malkin now after the. Oh my goodness!
That's 4! That's 4 for the Torbjorn this round!
Oh no! Oh no!
Houston!
Oh my god, the 4 hammer kills! Oh, you hate to see it. Oh my goodness, that has got to be a United Rogue Overwatch classic highlight right there. Clip it and ship it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
That's it. I don't care how the series goes. Marked Up player of the match right here, right now. I don't care. I'm biased.
That
4 hammer kills.
You thought it was bad when Dave died on the Orisa to that hammer, but to come back as Malka and do it a second time immediately afterwards? Oh man.
They're already
dead.
As we go on to our next sub map, Light opting to go over to the Widowmaker. Interesting to see these long sight lines, and Light last season on Dallas, a key player in Dallas's push for a championship. His hit scan play, really something no one expected, but came out in stride. What can he get done? Maybe he can punish Biscuit for not being a natural DPS player. As I say that, Light does turn around, manages to snipe off Big Green. There goes the head. DPS answers back for Biscuit, and Detroit looking solid. Dave does fall to the hands of Marked Up. Piper does manage to pick off DPS, but Yeet with the Mercy Res, undoing that kill, bringing the tank back. There you go. First cap going in favor of Detroit.
Their plan there definitely to burn down Dave, and they succeeded, but that Mercy Res making it all for naught. I mean, you can put all your eggs in one basket, but you know it shouldn't be at the expense of your whole team. As Dave getting brave here, going right into the backline and not really getting punished for all too much. Oh, he does.
Yeah.
He goes down, and that's
Yeet going for the res. No.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
That's your
Interesting choice.
faithful Mercy.
Yes. Brave for the Mercy. DPS does manage to find Marked Up in the middle of all the chaos. What can he get done, man? Wraithing out of there, playing for his life. Very smart on that side. 34% in favor of 34% in favor of Detroit before Houston flips. And Beatdown managed to get Light out on the exit frag.
Would like to thank Tracer Racer for the gift tier 1 sub in the chat. Thank you very much. All for those hammer kills.
All for the hammer kills. As Hazard ult coming out, managing to grab both supports. What can they get done? But DPS in the backline does turn around, get Biscuit with the ult. But Dave again falls to the hammer.
Dave. Oh
Marked
no.
Up. This is chat. We're gonna have to start counting how many hammer kills is Marked Up getting.
We are currently at 5. We are at 5 hammer kills this match so far. 1 in this round, 4 in the last. Oh, what are we watching? Dave has gone down 3 times already to this hammer.
This is, patch change did come through today. Torb did get a buff, did get the hammer damage adjusted in order to compensate for the Season 9 health pool change coming through. Overclock and Kitsune Rush being popped on the side of Houston, but Light turns around on the Junkrat, manages to pick off Beatdowns. Tank down, no res on the side of Houston, so they can't undo that mistake. Zuop does pick off Biscuit, but Biscuit answers back with the Soj E, and it is all coming in, all the cleanup going in favor of Detroit as the point keeps ticking up. We're about to hit 80%. We're getting into 1 fight territory, Arnos.
What in the world am I watching here? I'm keeping an eye on this Torb, and from what I can see, they're running a hammer-only Torbjorn. I mean, he's throwing down turret, but then he's going for broke.
Why not? All right, Dave rushing into the backline, popping the cage, Yeet going through, manages to res him, does pay for it with the life eventually, but this time the res does go off as everyone else on the side of Houston are cleaning up. Dave brought back into the fight. What can he get done? Gonna pop the E and be an ult battery for everyone else on the side of Houston to get some more ultimates out, and that'll be 1 fight territory for the side of Detroit to take this round. DPS on the Reaper, caught in the backline, uses the Wraith in order to escape, not fall to the hands of Beatdowns, but Houston, both teams working with very little, but Detroit coming up with some more ultimates. Light does have the Riptire. DPS about to come up onto the Death Blossom themselves. We saw what happened last time when they were able to turn around and get one done. What more can they do? Lamp out, Dave falling extremely low. Lamp does keep him alive, and Yeet putting the Mercy Beam onto him, doing everything he can to keep the tank alive. But Biscuit with the overclock, turning around, managed to pick off Dave, gets the first trouble. DPS does pop the ult, but Beatdowns in the end.
There's no way that they just that Beatdowns just ego ulted Zuop right there. This Houston team is just. I mean, these are morale plays,
Why not? In the chaos of all of that, Detroit did manage to flip the point back over into their favor. So it was either win here or you're going to round 3. As both teams are now anchoring up into 1 fight territory, looking like it's going 99-99. Kitsune Rush out on the side of Houston. Early lamp from the side of Zuop. Doesn't manage to get much done with it, but no one's really there able to touch the point. Dave coming through, but Light falls to Marked Up's turret. DPS does turn around, manage to pick off Biscuit, but Dave falls as well. Yeet, another beautiful res in the Valkyrie mode, getting to bring back the tank. Zuop popping the window on point. Hazard comes through with beatdowns, manages to claw down Zuop for his troubles, but it's looking like it's just coming in favor of Detroit. We could be going through another shift and slash into the Mercy. Shout out, managed to keep the Mercy alive, and Light finally manages to turn around, find the final blow on the beatdowns. Turns around, gets Big Green as well for his troubles before Biscuit can send a railgun straight into his chest, but DPS answers back for 2 more, and as it's going 99-99, Detroit flip the point, get the round, tie the map up 1-1. We are going to a map 3.
I mean, say what you will about that one res that Yeet had onto Dave on the Malga in the backline that was just complete, waste and alt charge and stagger. But the rest of the gameplay from Yeet has been immaculate on this Mercy. I mean, we are watching Reses come out to turn team fights almost every single team fight. And it's great. I don't say it often, but I'm really enjoying watching this Mercy gameplay.
You know, if you're playing on Detroit, yeah, Dave is getting in there. He's getting aggressive. He's getting picked. But in turn, you are trading around. Houston will trade around for 2, but if DPS or Light are able to trade back on the other side, there is no Mercy on the side of Houston there is no undo card. That is it. All deaths are final for the side of Houston as we are going through, and we watched beautifully on round 2. Zuop manages to take out the turret. Light popping the Bastion wheels fairly early while out from the hazard of beatdowns, and Detroit, it's looking like they're going to get first cap. They are getting first cap at this point as we go through both teams posturing. The Rhine going into the backline. What can he get done? Does not manage to go anyone as he on his fishing trip. But that being said, everyone's coming through. Light immediately falls to the hands of beatdowns. Mercy going for the res, but beatdown says no. Why would you try that? Right in front of me. Zuop does turn around, send a kunai right into Marked Up's head, but it'll be Houston flipping the point, 18% in favor of Detroit.
And honestly, we're watching Beatdowns walk into the middle of this team and not get punished for his troubles. If you're Detroit, you need to focus him down. You just have to. You leave him alone, he's going to get those picks. He got 1, he got 2. It's going to keep on happening.
Yeah.
You've got to focus him down. It's a big target. We like to go for squishies, but it doesn't matter if you don't have a backline anymore.
Exactly. Overclock out from Biscuit. Zuop answering in turn with the Kitsune Rush, and Biscuit falls before he can get anything done with his overclock to the hands of Light. There you go. Light immediately, with the blue beam, takes out Marked Up's turret, and Houston able to get 34% before Detroit are able to come in and flip the point. Trading 1-for-1. Piper popping the Kitsune Rush for What can they get done? Marked Up turns around, but DPS for free? Why not? Just rip the Beyblade on point. Answer it back. Everyone want to play on that Fox?
Great
Try again.
playing. Fantastic play coming out there from DPS on the Reaper. Great ult, and finds the pick on the Biscuit to get the additional stagger. And Detroit here getting that point flip, beginning to tick up to that 50% here. Major momentum for them as they try to go ahead and secure Antarctica here.
Yeah. Light popping the Bastion ultimate. Isn't able to get any final blows off of it, but does manage to force some positioning on the side of Houston as they're coming through the choke. Beatdowns going around, managing to trap someone. It's ultimate out, does manage to get eat for his troubles, but Houston in turn answering back with the molten polar. Zuop turns around, sends a kunai into Biscuit, but unfortunately he's gonna fall to the lava on the floor. Marked Up's turret gets Light and gets Dave as well, who said the hammer can do the kills when it can be the turret as well. Houston flipping the point back into their favor, 35% and counting, but 83% on the board for Detroit. Detroit, one fight territory, and they are looking like they're having some ultimate economy swinging to their favor in order to take this next point.
They certainly are, and we're watching Beatdowns and Marked Up here. Just the Hazard Torb show. You love to see that. Is this a combo we could be seeing here for the rest of the season?
Maybe. You'd like to see it. Dave coming in with the Terror Surge, manages to pick off Marked Up through all of that as he slams the spear down. Light answering back, managing to get Biscuit, and DPS ripping the Death Blossom. Does manage to get Piper, and Light answers back for 2. Expensive fight, but Detroit do manage to flip. Zuop and Light coming up on their ultimates as well, but the only other ultimate on the side of Houston right now is Big Green's Orbital Ray. Popping it now. What can Houston get done? Zuop answering in kind, but Light manages to turn around, picks off Marked Up, attempting to get the res onto Light, does pay for it with their life, and Beatdown turns around, picks off Zuop. It's 2v5 on this point as they're staggering out. DPS falls. Dave making his way back, but Dave really needs to back up. Do not stagger. And oh no, and
he lives.
Very lucky to live. Very lucky to live there. Ooh. Yeet and Zuop coming back just in time to save him.
Great stuff there. And Houston reminding us why they are that first place team right now as we get down to our final team fight here on Antarctic Peninsula.
Yeah. Yeah, Beatdown's coming in with the Hazard ult. Doesn't manage to land anyone into it, but DPS turns around, picks off the Clara. No res on the side of Houston, so that's gonna be permanent as we go into OT. Biscuit does fall to the hands of Dave's spear, and DPS turning around, managing to pick off Piper. Detroit flipping the map, flipping the point. It's now 99-99 going in favor, but all the trades are going in favor of Detroit.
My goodness.
And unfortunately, the Pharah is not able to get across onto the right side of the map, and it'll be Detroit taking map 1 in this series.
Oh my goodness.
Play of the game.
Houston? Are you there? I've got one collect call from you from Detroit. and I got 2 words for you. Hazard Torb and a third one. Who?
Hey,
I mean, you can get the hammer kills, you can get the plays, but we are seeing Houston for, I think, really the first time being put on the back foot here.
Yeah. I mean, Detroit and Zoop in match chat, we're here. You know, we're here, we're coming, we're fighting. And this Detroit team, massive plays on the backs of DPS and Light. Both of these players turning around and showing why they are prominent players. Light, a very prominent figure in Dallas's run in Season 5. DPS started on tank, played tank for War last season, playing DPS right now for Detroit. Very, very strong performances out of both of them to win Detroit this map.
I mean, you love to see it. And I mean, I'm seeing, I like to see teams, winning it all, shutting it out. But, Houston's been there. Houston's done that. Speaking from a little bit of personal experience, I'm sorry, Trash Can. I'm sorry, Houston, but it's a little bit refreshing to see here from Detroit, And, oh no. Oh no! Here we go. Houston has heard the call. Houston has found that respect for Detroit. Detroit, you guys are in for a tough time. We saw this. I was casting Houston very recently here, and we saw exactly what can happen on Circuit Royale. It's time for the I'm Insanity show, the Widow Special, hot and ready.
Insanity here coming in, subbing in for Biscuit at that DPS role. But on the other side, we have to talk about Light. Do not count this man out, because this is the same man that turned around and made that Dallas championship run a reality. Do not doubt this Widowmaker.
Very possible. Do you think we're about to see the Emerald Widow showdown of the century? Is this what we're about to see here?
I think we are about to see it. My biggest questions are for both teams as we are seeing this change-up come through. We know Insanity and Light both really solid Widowmaker players. We know DPS was popping off when he on the other side. And,
I just want to say something. We just saw something in the chat.
Yes.
Stop. Somebody get the presses going. We've got a season first. This is Detroit's first map win here for the entirety of Season 6 United Rogue Overwatch. Congratulations to Detroit. And it's right out of the gate. The show might not be over yet. I know it's a bit too early to say. I don't want to caster's curse it. But Detroit, congratulations on your first map win. Here's to many more.
Here's to many more indeed. And coming through in the chat, we do have some change-ups coming through. DPS, we have some subs on the side of Detroit. DPS going to tank. Light and Zoop on DPS, and Yeet and Dave over to support.
There we go, and the switches have been made. Our map pick is in. The stage is set here on Circuit Royale, as as we wait for what could possibly be one of the most exciting Widow show-offs, Widow exhibitions, shall we say, that we have ever seen in Emerald League here in United Rogue Overwatch. What do you think?
Hey, we've got a couple of aimers, and if you wanted to pick a map for the Widowmaker to be shown off, you've picked the right map.
Oh, there it is.
Light and Insanity heard our call. They said, "All right, time to go on to Widow. Time to establish who has the hotter hand tonight."
United Rogue Overwatch, we've got a match. We've got a match. Here we go. Light V here. Versus I'm Insanity, Widowmaker. Honestly, everybody else can stay at spawn. I just want to see these two duke it out.
And we have a pause in chat.
We do have a pause coming out. Not sure as of the reason for the moment. Someone's mic is messed up. We're being the NA lobby's call out is fine, and we are, I think, almost immediately going back into it.
Yeah.
We're good to keep going.
We are good to keep going. All right. Well, looking at both of these lineups, yes, we are talking a lot about these Widowmakers. Yes, we are hyping up a Widow battle. But looking across both teams, Piper and Big Green sticking with that Kiriko Juno look, and Yeet and Dave going back. Yeet still on the Mercy, Dave now over to the Baptiste. What can they get done? My biggest concern watching that map 1, you would watch Yeet go for risky reses, and with these Widows on the field, you can't afford to do that. As first shuts out and Insanity takes and draws first blood with Light. Both Zaryas popping bubbles, trying to get energy as they start duking it out. DPS starting to get up on the energy, but beatdowns answering right back. Both teams poking, posturing through as these Widows are scouting each other out, trying to see what they can get done. And another lamp out early from Dave, but Insanity manages to turn around, pick off Zoop. No bubble this time, and Beatdown, he does manage to get the res onto Zoop, but pays for it with his life thanks to beatdowns. I don't know if DPS didn't have a bubble ready for him, or just didn't know that he was going to go for the res there, but unfortunately the Mercy falling really low, and Dave falling extremely, extremely low. Mercy back finally, but everyone on the side of Detroit falling really low. DPS does manage to turn around, pick off Big Green for his trouble, but there is no res on the table. You can't bring that back. DPS does fall to the hands of beatdowns, and it is just Light and Yeet. Can Light find a pick? Unfortunately, it's not looking like it's going to happen. The rest of Houston respecting the Widowmaker off the side of Detroit. And Insanity turns around, picks off Sue up again!
I mean, oh no, Light going out. I mean, we've seen it before, we're seeing it now. Insanity is an absolute highlight reel when it comes to this map. But there's something to be said here for DPS and beatdowns on the Zaryas. We're not seeing a whole lot of action out of really anybody else here. We're not
seeing a whole lot of action, but that being said, Zoop does manage to turn around, pick off the Torbjorn from the side of Houston before paying for it with his life. And another later grab out, bigger grab this time. What can they get done? Window popped, and DPS answers back for 2. Answers for 3rd as well. And sure, yeah, you expend 2 ults in there. Light opting to get off of the Widowmaker, going over to the Tracer, finding a final blow onto Big Green as well for his trouble. And there we go. Houston finally having to cede some space over. But that was a large 2 minutes off of that time block. 2 minutes off the time bank as Detroit, are rounding the corner.
Oh no, are they gonna see Zoo up here on the Reaper coming around? Or are we about to see a pick here?
Oh, Zoop had to burn the fade, had to burn the Wraith form, get out early. Piper getting harassed by this Tracer from Light, manages to burn both Suzu and TP before going away. Light manages to stick Piper and gets Insanity for his trouble! And answers back for a 3rd one, why not? Okay, Light.
Incredible gameplay, and the 4-piece. I mean, Light has looked at this and said, you know what? I'm not gonna beat you on the Widow. But you know what? I'm done trying.
I'm done trying. Anything you can do, I can do better. And Light says, okay, I'm not having fun on the Widow, going onto the Tracer as Detroit manages to get point A. Lamp really far discus throw off of the side of Dave. Doesn't manage to save anyone with that, but everyone on the side poking through, prodding through. Insanity does manage to turn around on the Cassidy now, picks off Zoop, the Reaper down. Yeet not opting to go for the res there, but it's falling extremely low. Does get bubbled out from DPS for his troubles as Dave falls to the hands of Marked Up's turret. And there we go.
And you do love to see it, but you know very well, both teams and everybody here at home knows very, very well that you can absolutely switch right back to that Torbjorn you were working on before, and it's going to be a tough time for that Tracer.
Yeah, Graviton Surge out from the side of Houston. Beatdown's throwing a Bionade in, and then Marked Up answering back with the Molten Core themselves. A little expensive from Houston, but sure, you will take the win. You will take the hold about halfway through B.
Absolutely, and that's what a lack of an ego will do for you there. You know, coming out from light, you know, switching off, and Insanity recognizing the threat that poses, seeing what exactly can happen here, and switching out as light now looking for that 1v1 still with the cast, getting forced back out.
Yeah, again, another 2 ultimates pop from the side of Houston, but Insanity turns around, picks off 2 before falling to the hands of light. Yeet. Popping the Valkyrie, what can he get done with it? Flying around, doing his best to keep everyone alive. Going for the res now with the advanced movement, but unfortunately you're doing it right in front of a high energy Zarya, and that Zarya is going to melt you down if you are not careful. Unfortunately, Yeet does fall, but Light, is he able to get out with his life? It looks like he should be able to. DPS making the turret look at him. Smart play, get the turret focus fire on him, have Light turn around and shoot it in the rear. And DPS and Zoop both have ultimates out. Oh, Graviton Surge out, Death Blossom to answer, but again, these teams are going to commit multiple cooldowns, multiple ults into it. Light doesn't get another 2k Pulse Bomb into that Graviton Surge, but you have to question, if you are on the side of Detroit, what's the plan to do at that Grav Blossom, or is the plan to do Grav Pulse Bomb? Because that is 3 ultimates, and the only trade up you have is the fact that Big Green drop the nano in there in order to try and save someone.
The real question is should you be remaining on that Zarya here, as you know, you might want to recontest, and we're getting awfully close here.
Yeah, he does manage to turn around res light, but Dave next to fall. Another Graviton Surge out from Beatdown, this time Marked Up on the Pharah, raining down Justice, gets a 4k. Insanity. Come on, bro. Why'd you have to steal the 5k? Why'd you have to steal it? That's
there
rude.
it is. I mean, it sucks, but what's more important here is you got to get that instantaneous recontest here, as we got less than 15 seconds left in this round.
Yep, a dry fight all around. No ultimates really onto the board. Maybe if Light gets enough work done, or Light or Marked Up, probably the closest coming up onto ult, as Detroit managed to get into touch, but Dave falls almost immediately. Marked Up takes down the Mercy, popping the barrage, manages to get DPS before falling to the hands of Zoop, and it is just light on cart, and will fall at the hands of Insanity, and that will be it. The cart will stop just before point C.
And that's job done. You know, we saw fantastic gameplay out of both teams here, but I think the story here is, you know, Insanity can play more than just Widow. You know, that hit scan specialty extends to that cast, and it extends well. The counter onto Light, we've been watching Light being denied space on this Tracer now. You know, Pulse Bombs may be coming out, but it's tough to push.
It's tough to push. Yeah. Look, for as much flack as we are giving Light, keep in mind, Light is attempting to play Tracer into a Torbjorn and a Cassidy. That is not easy by any means.
Absolutely not, but not for long here, as Zoop now has opted to take on Insanity. We've seen Light versus Insanity. Now it's Zoop. There's not going to be any sort of chatter here from Detroit or any Detroit fans afterwards that we didn't try both our DPS at this.
Hey, Zoop,
let's see how he does.
Zoop said it's my turn to play the Widowmaker, and let's see what he's able to get done as he's posturing up. DPS back over to the signature Reinhardt that won them the Season 5 Emerald MVP title.
I mean, theoretically speaking here, Zuop does have a better position here. That, that high ground, got the Ryan Shield, the Mercy. You got a lot of different things that could make this Widow matchup flip in your favor, even with all the skill that Insanity has to offer.
Yeah. And as Houston are pushing up DPS onto the corner to try to check anyone out. Beatdowns, another Zarya bubble out. Light in the backline has to recall out. Insanity does eat a fire strike for his troubles, getting healed up for it. As he's pushing through. Light in the backline. Zuop manages to turn around, pick off Marked Up. There we go. Now there you go. Pharah out of the sky. No more Rocket Queen and no Mercy on the other side to res it. It's gonna be all that.
And we're seeing what I was talking about here a second ago. All of this utility, and Insanity goes down.
There we go. Alrighty then, Zuop. Okay, Zuop. Okay.
Tracer in the chat saying Zuop has a shot. Zuop's got more than one.
Zuop got more than one. DPS managing to turn around, find the final blow onto Piper. Lamp out, trying to cover DPS as he manages to back up. Another Widow shot out, doesn't manage to find anyone. Beatdowns does take out Dave's Immortality Field in the end. Another bubble out, trying to keep the Zarya high charge, but this Reinhardt does not care. We'll just keep swinging. We'll chunk down a lot of that health very quickly. Marked Up over the top. Takes out the Widowmaker, managing to pick off Dave and gets Zed for his trouble. Okay, I'll do it myself.
Great stuff, and what a pin here to finish it off. Oh, doesn't finish the pin. Oh, and DPS has got to live now. Is he going to live versus Pharah? Oh, no, he goes down.
Unfortunately, will not be able to, with both of your supports falling to the hands of the Rocket Queen coming up from over the top. It's very hard. You would want to have seen DPS land the pin in order to confirm the kill, and maybe, just maybe, is able to turn around and get the Pharah for his troubles. But Houston, 2 minutes to finish their push onto A in order to get a time bank extension, and we've seen teams stall out here before. Marked Up, managing to pop the barrage, gets Zuop for his trouble, and is able to get out with his life. No press Q to respawn. Light recalls, unfortunately, is caught in the backline, falls really low. Grab Pop Charge out, manages to only pick off Dave. Dave expending the lamp, but for his trouble in order to save his life a little bit, and it'll be Houston walking into point A, into the checkpoint. 4 minutes onto the clock to push all the way to the end of B. What can they get done?
I love that aggression here from Marked Up. Securing that kill on Insanity near the spawn is so important to make sure that that area denial comes out, giving Insanity the space that he needs to do his work. You'll love to see it.
Yeah,
Shatter out. Plays.
Yeah, Shatter out from the side of Detroit. Doesn't manage to find anyone, but whatever. If you're DPS, you're gonna build it up very quickly. As I say, that DPS does manage to turn around and pick off the Pharah. No more Rocket Wing. Pin in, manages to get Beatdowns. Gets Suzu out for his troubles, and the care is there. But DPS going through another bubble out, managing to get any swinging, trying to get stuff done. Build up to the next shatter as he makes his way up there. But Beatdowns takes off Zuop. No more Pharah on the side of Detroit for now. Having to cede some space for it. DPS pinning in towards Card, trying to get something done. Looking at Big Green, but Kitsune rushed out and only manages to get right across by the cart.
Houston answering back in emphatic fashion. Detroit's gonna have a tough time here.
Yeah, DPS, I've been there as that Reinhardt. You are just holding your shield and you are backing up, trying not to see as any space. But while Piper might not have gotten the biggest Kitsune rush off in the world, it was enough for Houston to clean up. Houston answers back. We are 1-1 in this series.
And we talked about how amazing it was for Detroit to get this, but if you're Houston, losing a map to Detroit is, as far as morale goes, has got to just light a fire inside of you.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised that they answered back, and they answered back strong in that circuit map, historically doing very well, that map being one of their best. And it shows they know how to play it.
Yeah. I mean, you saw on the side of Detroit, we're going to take the Widow duel. We saw Zuop fare a little bit better into Insanity, but even then, Zuop opting to get away from the Widowmaker, going and mirroring the Pharah, and we just let that Widow have free reign to just reshoot. As Zuop is asking what the hybrid maps are, seeming like Detroit wanting to go over. Detroit wants to move over to hybrid as their next map pick. We have in our pool, we have Midtown. We have Midtown, and I'm blanking on the others right now. Do you remember them, Marcus?
We have Midtown, Hollywood, Eichenwald, and Numbani. Our maps in no particular, not so very alphabetical order.
Not so very alphabetical order. and Light answering back for Detroit. Detroit opting to go map 3, going over to Eichenwalde.
My favorite map.
Yeah. Hey, if you are both of these teams, if you want to keep marked up on the Pharah, hey, this is a historically good Pharah map.
Yup, and I mean, it's a fantastic Pharah map. It's a fantastic Junkrat map. It's a great Doomfist map. Here's a question: what do you think about this as far as a hazard map goes?
As far as a hazard map goes, I think especially as you move into point B, that castle, where we've seen a lot of teams historically opt for a dive, opt to have a monkey, a diva, someone to go up and take that high ground. I think this is another potential map where we can see a hazard playground going through. We
certainly could. For those of you watching, we are 1-1 in this series here in week 6. An incredible series going on right now between Detroit and Houston here. How do you think this is going to play out here? What do you think?
Well, we do have another kind of roster shuffle, kind of sub coming through on the side of Detroit. We are watching Dave move back over into tank, DPS move back over to DPS, and Zuop move back over to support. This is the same lineup that won them that map 1. Maybe if you're Detroit, you're thinking, if it won us map 1, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, try to see what we can get done. But if you're on the side of Houston, you're thinking, all right, you know, another map, we come off of that Circuit Royale win, and it's another day at the office. Time to shut things down. Time to win this series out.
Absolutely. And Roadhog May. We're about to have fun. We are about to have some fun.
We are. As we're looking on both sides, Insanity onto the Symmetra. Dave and Light playing Roadhog and May respectively. This is just chaos. Chaos incarnate.
These teams switching it up, you know? Oh man. Early sleep attempt coming out.
Early
Great
sleep attempt
pick from Zuop.
Yeah, Zuop sending a stray kunai right into Piper's skull. That is the Kiriko down. You're on a healed only, but that is a huge opening pick for the side of Troy. Hook out, manages to get down beatdowns, and beatdowns immediately falls, gets walled off from his supports. Big Green isn't able to do much on that Ana to get over and through, and that's just Detroit. Yeah, slow and steady wins the race, but these opening picks, you really, really have to favor them. As, yeah, Arnos, we're, okay, 5 minutes 45 seconds on the clock.
We're zooming. We are absolutely zooming.
we're zooming off of just some straight picks coming out from this Houston side. I don't know if it's nerves. I don't know if it's a little bit of hubris, but you can't afford to be losing team members this early like that. Bionade out manages the purple Dave. Is just gonna walk it off without having to expend the Suzu for his troubles. And everyone on the side of Houston opting to go up on the high ground, marked up, dropping a turret down. Everyone on Detroit playing around car. Another hook out, does not manage to find anyone this time, but a Bionade out lands onto 2. Able to shake it off as both teams coming on through. Suzu out, hook out, manages to get the tank, and it's a Nano Bastion in our backline. As Big Green and Insanity turning around, managing to get more marked up again.
Marked up, number 6. You know, Dave has just got. You know, honestly, if I were you, marked up, I'd lock your doors tonight. You know, you might have a Roadhog showing up. You know?
Stop it.
Yeah, I mean,
Guys, they have families.
it's just not fair. You can't be doing this.
They have families as both teams coming through. Graviton Surge out, and Insanity answering back with a two-piece.
Fix.
Yeah. You know, Detroit trying to rotate through, trying to kind of come through. Dave goes first. DPS kind of trying to follow along, and unfortunately, it's Yeet and everyone else on their team getting caught behind. And Beatdown says, "Oh, you're trying to rotate? Oh, you don't have speed? Let's just quickly lock you in place. Let's put an artillery strike in and get a free team fight win. Why not?"
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Are they going to be able to break through this here? This absolute wall of defense.
They're gonna try to, but they're gonna try to. DPS.
Oh yes, they can.
Yes.
Oh yes, they can.
Well, okay. Q-Fest on the cart. And when all is said and done, it's marked up on 1 HP. Yeet managing to pull out the Barbie Blaster, Glock him down, and Detroit finally
do they know
break
there's
through.
an Ana running around? Do they know? I don't think they're gonna go ahead and chase it.
Big Green gives his positioning away, but the wall does come out. Well, beatdowns and Insanity on the wrong side of it. As I say that though, another pin in manages to grab the Zarya, but Insanity turns around, burns down Dave. Zuop goes off the map, says, "I've had enough of this." And everyone else on the side of Detroit falls as we get to the infamous bridge.
That pin a bit rough there. You know, you stay behind the payload there. You wait out the Bastion for him, and then you go. Dave a little bit impatient there. But hey, listen, if you've got the time to burn, go for it, you know? They've got 2.5 minutes still left.
You got 2.5 minutes, sure, but Yeet falls almost immediately. Mercy off the table, no res, can't bring back the Mercy himself. Purple out, manages to get Dave, and Zuop, I don't know where Zuop was, but apparently just decided, no need to Suzu, just take the cheap fight, back up.
And they're getting absolutely wasted here by this Houston team. I mean, you have got to, you got to remember that you can put your shield up and block that Bastion ult from hitting. You know, it'll wreck your shield, but at least you'll have your team alive.
I mean, this genuinely could come down to the fact that Dave is not known as a tank player. We haven't really seen much we haven't seen much from him, and a lot of the aggression, a lot of that positioning stuff that we're seeing him fall first is just this form of hubris. Nano Bastion out again, gets the bubble. Another pin in, but pin in, unfortunately.
Does he live? Oh, no.
He's gonna live, and he's gonna feed Beatdowns more energy. As Beatdowns, high charge, walking forward, does manage to get the Mercy for his troubles as well. DPS turning around, managing to find one for his troubles. Gets the Zarya as well, resets the energy. That is critical if you are playing this Ryan Zarya mirror, or you are playing the Zarya. That energy is everything for that Zarya.
A quick push here from Detroit is critical for them for success on this push. With a minute left to go, they need to take control of this payload, and they do. Pushing in here as Houston finally gets their full 5 back.
Yes, but Insanity is on the high ground. Is anyone going to turn and look at him? They finally do. But that's a...
Oh,
turn your shield, turn your shield!
5-man grab coming out, and no res is going to matter here.
No, and they're going to just stagger the Mercy. They're just going to stagger them.
What a masterclass grab by Beatdowns.
Oh, that's just... Oh.
I mean... That's just good. That's just great Zarya gameplay as always.
Yeah, that's great Zarya gameplay, and I'm gonna give Dave a little bit of slack right here. You saw the Bastion on the high ground. You saw the Bastion on the bridge. What do? You're shielding everyone else. But there's a Bastion shooting your entire team in the butt. Can't do much about that. Shatter out, gets slapped out of it. Huge play from Big Green.
Oh no. Oh, they're gonna try to res.
They're gonna res. Yes.
Dave.
Yes.
Oh, wait a second. They could flip
What?
this.
No, the point!
Oh no, the C9.
Nice.
No. Oh no. Oh, what a heartbreak. Oh no.
You have to feel that if you are Detroit. That is a heartbreaker of a C9 to happen.
Oh my
you're finally in, you're finally turning around, but unfortunately we saw early pickoffs on the side of Detroit that won them point A, that gave them 5 minutes and 45 seconds to make a siege on the castle, and we watched them stall it out right on the infamous bridge. If you are Detroit, you're not out of it yet, but you need to have a short memory to reset and say, okay, that's fine, we are holding first.
Oh no. Oh, you know what? For those of you who are going to say, oh, they're Emerald players, they forgot the point, I'll have you know that just a couple of weeks ago, Adbon did the same thing in Ruby on Shambali Monastery. You know, it happens, all right? It happens.
Listen, these might be Emerald players, but do not for a second forget that these are still players, and these are players that are playing this game fairly well. They might not be might not be hitting all the shots that the Ruby players are hitting, but they do deserve some respect. As we say that,
Absolutely.
as we say that though, beatdowns over to the Reinhardt. You know, marked up an Insanity, going kind of this brawl dive hybrid look, but DPS managing to turn around, pick off Big Green, wall up, and beatdowns is just paying for it with his life. Beautiful wall out of light from that Mei player, and it's just okay. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. There you go. That's the first part of your attack. That's the first part of your defense.
I mean, we're watching now full scam pretty much come out of this DPS lineup here on Detroit. Junkrat, Mei, and I love both of them.
Yeah, Junkrat, Mei.
Oh no, I gotta stop saying things. The caster curse is real.
Come on!
Great res from you, but Yeet goes down.
Yeet does pay for it for his life, but Beatdown does fall to the hands of Light. But Insanity onto that Widowmaker, rips Light's head off again, says, sit down, son, I'm here, I'm taking over this lobby. Dave does manage to pick off Marked Up, is starting to get a little bit of higher energy, but it's winnable, but Dave has to play his life. Unfortunately, Piper sends a kunai straight into Dave's head, and Dave falls at the very end. 1.5 minutes off of the clock as Houston are managing to open up and take it to the bridge. We are going to have 5 minutes. So not as large of a time bank, but it is still holdable if you are Detroit. You have to dig in. You have to believe.
If you gotta believe in the heart of the cards here, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
You know, we're watching this team get, you know, a massive amount of momentum here on the part of Houston, but you know, it could stop in an instant. You gotta keep it going if you want to win this.
You have to keep going. Dave dropping off of the high ground, holding the corner, playing into the Reinhardt. Ramatro going into Nemesis mode, trying to beat down this Reinhardt, and he does manage to, with some help from Light. And there you go. That's the open. There you go. One pick. That's all you need. This map is still winnable if you are Detroit. You just have to lock in. And luckily enough, didn't have to blow any ultimates for that ult.
Zero ego from Detroit here, realizing they need to go put it all on the line to win, picking that counter into Ryan. Smart. Vayner doing everything they can, but a huge shatter here coming out from Beatdown. Immediately picks up 3, and this is going to be cleanup time on the part of Houston. We still got a team fight at least to go, but with 3:40 on the clock here, they're going to get some major distance.
And I like what I'm seeing out of Houston, saying, okay, Piper, you're going to stay on the cart. Everyone else push up, push forward. Hold aggressively. Do not let this team get any space for free as both teams are coming out. Another pin out immediately, but Zuop turns around, pick up Big Green. That is the orbital ray off the clock. But Beatdowns answers back for 2. Insanity picks off DPS. Mei Blizzard out onto the cart, managing to freeze Beatdowns, and Yeet getting the res off onto the tank as well. Why not? As Dave, Nemesis mode, punches the Ryan to death, answers back, picks off Insanity, and everyone else from Houston having to back up. Holy, some heroics coming out from Detroit.
Absolutely, and they need it. I mean, we're 240 here, and this payload is teetering on the edge of a Houston win. You know, if you're Detroit, there are no more questions anymore as to how many team fights you can lose. The answer is 0.
The answer is 0, but Dave critically coming up onto that annihilation can get a refresh on his armor in Nemesis mode if he wants it, and everyone else kind of coming through. But initiating on the side of Houston with both the Orbital Ray and the Dragon Blade, managing to pick off Zuop, but Dave, oh my god, light goes off the map!
Oh no. You know, for a moment there, we saw a flicker of brilliance from Detroit.
Yes.
And the fight isn't over yet. We are 2-1 in the series in Houston favor, but you know, if you're looking at this as a Detroit fan, you know, there is no more room for mistakes. This next map is when you gotta pick it up.
Yes, there is no more room. You cannot afford any more mistakes from here on out. But when you got things scrappy, when DPS and Light were able to get into those backlines and able to cause enough chaos, everything else was coming to plan. Zuop saying, swap me and Dave in chat. Okay. Detroit, showing us yet another look. This time it's going to be Zuop playing tank.
And I mean, they've gone through comp switches. They've gone through different heroes. They've gotten their first map win. You know, if you walk out of this today with nothing else, Detroit has made their own season history on stream today. But you want more. You want more. And there's no reason I don't think they could get it. You know, you could say that Houston wasn't warm the first map. You could make all sorts of excuses for it. But I think Detroit's got it in them, and I'd love to see them take another.
Yeah.
A little bit of caster curse. Don't put it on me.
You know, as Detroit coming through, final map that they can pick, and they must win on this map in order to take it to a map 5. So as they're coming through, we got a map pick coming in. They're opting for Flashpoint. They're opting to go to New Junk City.
And we defend first. Well, it's nice to know they'll be defending. 360 hunting rifle last. I'm not sure what I'm watching. What I'm reading rather.
I'm not sure either, but you know what? We're here for it. You know, as we're going over, and yeah, we gave a lot of praise. Torphammer 1v1 for all 3 points in chat.
You know, I mean, I can't read the rest of that, but
yeah, that's
Warhammer for 1v1 for all 3 points. I may be breaking, United Rogue Overwatch rules by endorsing this, but it has my endorsement. It most certainly does. Theoretically, not against the rules, according to Andrew. Thank you very much, Andrew. Head of production coming out here, making sure we let them know. Hey, listen, I wasn't chosen. When I applied for LO, I wasn't chosen. I didn't have to write these rules, and you can bet I'm going to, well, at least try to make sure they're enforced.
Listen, I'm not
on Venture. Where are you?
Oh no. Season 4 flashbacks, if you can remember. With this new lineup coming out from the side of Detroit, Zuop historically has been a tank player for the Washington Rebellion in seasons prior. We've seen around season 5 is when we saw DPS say, all right, I'm taking over and I'm playing Reinhardt and we're going to take this war team to new heights.
Ready for battle.
All right, Trash Can saying no. Production saying that we support this. Trash Can, theoretically speaking, it's not against the rules.
It is their team, and if they are not opting for it, then we do need to.
Oh my goodness, we got the Torbs. Could we see it? Oh my, it would be the greatest moment ever. I would love to see it.
Yep.
Come on, give it to us. Give us the Torb 1v1.
Maybe as we're opening up for the initial flashpoint, beatdowns back over to the Hazard, Zuop onto the Junker Queen, and Yeah.
Will we see it? We see something.
We see something, but we... Whoa, 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 whoa! Hold up. Hold up. I don't think both teams agreed on this, and Piper is going to punish Yeet for the hubris.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go. Tor 1v1.
Here
Let's
it
go.
is.
There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Here we go.
first one.
DPS marked. Okay.
Marked up over here, and we're going to get first point here. It looks like it's going to go to Houston by the laws of combat.
By the laws, Tor and Hammer 1v1.
The sacred laws of combat, and it's going to devolve into an absolute, fight fest. They said, screw it, we're doing it anyway.
Chaos is going to ensue.
Fight. They're going to fight for it.
Chaos is going to ensue, but it's turning in favor. It's turning in favor of Detroit as Zuop managing to find a final blow onto Big Green. DPS's turret turns around, picks off beatdowns, at 40% on the board for Houston before Detroit flip it.
And that's sacred Torb 40%, not falling in favor here of falling in favor of Houston, but being answered immediately.
Piper
still trying to get some.
Yeah, Piper in chat. Piper in chat. You said 1v1 for point.
Liars. Dave saying they gotta hold it.
For cap.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna sit here and argue with some semantics, but either way, point hasn't officially gone one way or the other yet. Bionade out on the side of Big Green, managing to hit DPS. Falls extremely low, but does manage to shake it off. Another hazard ult coming out, managing to trap 3, and Insanity turns around, picks off DPS. Pulse bomb out, doesn't manage to hit anyone, but Suzu out on the side of Piper is marked up, answers back for 3. And
you know what?
Detroit.
You know what? I mean, they could have said no. They could have said, we're not gonna do it. But Marked has taken this personally. Granted, as is being pointed out by our experts in chat, that unfortunately the Torb 1v1 did have Piper healing marked up, which is against the sacred ancient laws of combat. But now that a Torbolt in defiance, but I don't think this is gonna be a good time here for Houston. Oh no.
But as they say that though, Zuop does manage to pop. Zuop pops the ultimate, does manage to hit 2, and Piper does not have a Suzu to save themselves, so ends up falling. But Insanity turning around, picking off multiple members with their Deadeye and with the shots, Light on the point, trying to stall out for as much time as he can. Managing to get Insanity extremely low, but falls really low himself. Beatdown sends a stray shot into Light's dome, and it'll be first point, going in favor of Houston.
I eat my words, Detroit, you could have just given it to Houston in the first place, but, you made him fight for it, and that just don't look good.
Yeah.
Are they going to do it for point B, or has Detroit learned their lesson?
Low-key easiest hammer 1v1 ever, marked up says.
Oh, no, the disrespect. Yeah. Oh, you used your E. Oh, no,
nice.
We've got Torb trash talk.
Nice. Come on,
trash talk.
I was about to say.
Oh my goodness.
The last time I checked the rules for Torb Hammer 1v1s.
No honor, no glory. These are not 2 Reinhardts. These are 2 angry Torb mains.
Angry Torb mains as the ultimates start coming out from both sides. It's everyone fighting through. No one's dying yet, but Bionade out onto Dave. Ultimate out. He managed to get trapped in the Valkyrie from the hazard ult as beatdowns falls, but 22% in favor of Houston before Detroit flips the point into their favor.
They have got to kill this turret. It is doing so much work here for DPS.
Beatdown's saying, "All right, no more hazard. I'll match you on the Zarya. Anything you can do, I can do better." And the last time I checked the rules of Torb Hammer 1v1s, Arnos, pressing E is allowed. Overload is allowed.
Pressing E is allowed. No healing is allowed, though. Piper absolutely violated that.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. But, apparently they didn't realize.
Yeah, well, sometimes things happen, sometimes things don't. Insanity manages to turn around, pick off Light. DPS answers back for Big Green, but beatdowns in Insanity with Green's nano going out before he died, managing to turn around and find some cleanup. Zuop High energy onto the point, playing within the toward Molten Core. What can he get done? Falling extremely low. Can he get the Pharah before he falls? Or is the Pharah gonna get healed? Another bubble out. Does not manage to pick off the Pharah.
Great hold there, though. Manages to get it back. And the res going on. They're gonna get the res.
Yeah, they're gonna get the res.
No.
And it's 99%. And beautiful res out of Yi, managing to come through, pick Zuop back up. The Piper turning around, using both abilities in order to save her fellow support, and turns around, picks off Dave. But a Graviton Surge out, Insanity rips the castle ultimate, manages to pick off DPS, and picks up Zuop for his trouble. Insanity picks off Yi, and that'll be Houston flipping in favor. 40% in count.
I mean, this, you can say what you want about that Houston retake, but what a fantastic res coming out of Yeet.
Yeah, another critical res at the time. Light managing to use the soldier sprint to get in, keep the point contested just long enough for Yeet to get in, bring the Zarya back, get it to 99%, and then Zuop able to walk through. Another big buy-nade on the side of Big Green. Manages to get two, gets shaken off from the side of Detroit as both teams are coming through. Kitsune rush down, Zuop falls, beatdown's coming through. Marked up, ripping the barrage as well. Light does manage to send a bullet into his skull to pay for it, but not before it can get one. Dave asleep on point. What can he get done? Unfortunately, does fall to the hands of Big Green, and it's 99-99 as the refinery is going over in favor of Houston.
And Houston has had enough. They have said, you've gotten a map off of us. You know, you're disrespecting us here on the Torb 1v1. You know, we may have cheated a little bit, but we don't care. It's time to take this.
Yeah, as we head over to our next flashpoint, both teams moving away from the Torbjorn. And Insanity back over to the signature Widowmaker pick, but Marked Up sends a stray rocket into Yi. Again, the Mercy falling first to fall. Can't res a Mercy without a dupe on the field or a second Mercy, but it's not happening this time. So that death will be permanent. Graviton Surge out. Manages Graviton doesn't really manage to get anything. Well, manages to keep Dave locked in long enough. Insanity answers back for Zuop, and Marked Up and Beatdowns answering back for the rest of the Detroit. It's just Light left on the field and needs to run away. But critically, through all of that, Detroit did get first half of that point. 22% and count 22% up onto the board. So about half a fight if you play your cards right. As I say that though, Insanity, another headshot on Dave. Zuop going over to the D.Va. Interesting pickup. Probably to fly at that Widowmaker a little bit or counter the Pharah a little more, put some more pressure on. But the D.Va into the Zarya matchup historically has always been in favor of the Zarya. Bionade out manages to get Dave, and Dave popping the Coalescence, loses that in the process. Beautiful play from the Ana player on the side of Houston. And it is all Houston in the kill feed as they start cleaning it up. Zuop does manage to turn around, take down Beatdown, so the Zarya's energy is going to get reset. But we are coming into final fight territory for this series. Detroit, final fight for this map in order to get something done and keep this series alive for them. What can they do?
Absolutely, and I mean, Beatdown's still coming back here, but early picks onto Dave and Light are going to be devastating for this Detroit team.
Yeah.
And that is it. You have a Houston 3-1 here. Houston Flames versus the Detroit Wolfpack. Houston take it 3-1. Congratulations, though, to Detroit on their first map win here in Season 6. There is something to be said for both of these teams. GG's to all of them. Great stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, as the GGs are coming through in chat, we're watching the play of the game from Zuop, managing to get stuff done on the Junker Queen. We've seen a lot, a Junker Queen can take over a series if you let them. And yeah, some signs of life out of this Detroit team. Houston maybe not having their preferred lineup for map 1, that's okay. But all the credit in the world to this Detroit team. They finally were able to shake that monkey, get a map win this season. So they are elite. They have something to look at and say, we've made it here. It can only go up. go up from here.
Absolutely. And a big thank you to all for watching, to our players. A great match. Thank you for casting with me. It's been a wonderful, wonderful night. And we hope you all here at United Rogue Overwatch have a great remainder of your week here.
Yeah. Take it easy. Y'all have a good rest of your night, and go and play some of the new character Hazard in ranked or in quick play or in your UR matches.
Rivals.
Or some Marvel Rivals. I don't know. Do what you want.
Do what you want.